separated from prime material plane, can you poke it with a stick? Hello, everyone. And welcome to This Space for Rent, a tabletop RPG set in the Space Casey universe, powered by Bulldogs from Galileo Games, running on Roll20 with audio from Tabletop Audio. I am Christiana Ellis, the Game Master, and I have nothing prepared for today, but we're going to work it out anyway.
Yay!
Perfect.
Yes, we are not continuing our previous adventure today because we are down a player. So instead, we're going to be flashing back to a previous adventure or something.
Yeah.
It might be a clip show. We're not sure.
Yeah.
Adventure might be a bit overstatement.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. So, in the meantime, for anyone who might be new to this, who didn't see the others, let's just briefly describe who each of your characters is, what do they look like, and what are they doing on the ship at the moment. And I'm dropping stuff.
Well then,
Okay.
if no one else is going to start. You should do it. Let's see. Buttup may be confused for a patch, semi-sentient patch of slime, but he's more than that.
I can't do. Okay,
What?
I am
Oh,
pulling
I
my
gotta-
headphones out of my computer.
That's no good.
No. Okay, I'm sorry. Please.
So,
continue.
where was I in my mountain of words? Buttup may be confused for a semi-sentient pile of slime, but that would be only half correct because he's also a bucket. A very nice bucket, a technologically enhanced bucket. And that's because he enhances technology himself. Not exactly from things that were supposed to be that, but that's okay. He's fine with making it up as he goes along. He serves currently as the engineer of the Juggernaut, and occasionally the engineer of anything else he can get his hands on. How about that?
And what is
okay.
he doing on the ship at the moment?
What's he doing on the ship? Probably taking something apart to figure out how it works, and if he figures out how it works, he'll put it back together.
All right.
Okay. Rick is a ordinary human Kansas farm boy who's he's signed the wrong contract on Earth and got himself basically sold into indentured servitude, and his contract's been sold around a couple times and found himself on the Juggernaut. He's got and he is the ship's quartermaster, and it's his job to make all the deals that keep the money coming into the ship and the company, and eventually a little bit of it ends up trickling down to the crew after all. He's just the nicest guy I ever wanted to meet.
Very nice. What is he up to presently? Before the captain calls you up to attention.
He's in between deals, so he is very carefully, because he is not an engineering type dude, looking over the manuals and specs and stuff like that to try to make heads or tails of the synthesizers, because he's heard a rumor that that in addition to making food and uniforms and all kinds of stuff like that, they can do even more advanced stuff, and he's like trying to figure out if the ones that they've got access to on the Juggernaut are that kind. But he is not an engineer, and so he is often going back to the other members of the crew with calls to kind of explain something or otherwise do that. But he's just real curious today.
Mm-hmm.
probably getting into stuff he oughtn't.
Yeah. And Shem is the pilot of the Juggernaut, also kind of the astronavigator. She is a large bipedal cat. Not cat as in large cat, but cat as in more of a domestic breed. She has kind of short fur, but right now what she's doing is exploring some of the passages that are just off of where the crew normally goes, seeing if she can find anything interesting that might make her a little bit of money.
Very nice. So I think that you are all attending to your various tasks when your AI captain, Captain Nemo, announces his, "Greetings, crew! I have an assignment for you. It seems that we have been struck by a comet, which ordinarily would be a minor incident, but it seems that it has jostled an old memory circuit of mine back into place where it had been previously been knocked out of place by a comet."
That's a really, really bad cure for amnesia.
Well, as it happens, because of this newly realigned memory circuit, I have been made aware of a cargo bay that has not been inventoried in some time, and so I shall need you all to go do that post-haste.
Well, looks like it's time for some more exploring. Let me go get my gun.
Indeed,
Jim.
in one of the deeper recesses of the Juggernaut, so you may want to be prepared for any eventualities. I have lost all my sensors down there for some time.
Shem peels herself off of the ceiling from where her claws had embedded in there when she was startled by the captain. Just kind of...
Let's go. Falls almost to the ground, flips over, and lands on her feet.
Absolutely. Because cat.
Because cat.
All right, so where is this located? This hangar, you said hangar bay, or is it a storage?
It's
a
cargo bay. Yeah.
Cargo bay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think that if you check the computer console, you'll get a little display that shows you the approximate location. So you could get mostly there, but what you do see is that it's not surprising why this might have gotten forgotten about, except in memory databases, and then apparently forgotten about due to Comet, because it's kind of out of the way. It's in an area of the ship that you guys have not really ever been to before. And it probably has various obstacles on the way. But you should be prepared, because you basically don't have any live technical readouts of what's currently there or what's stored there. And that's, in fact, the reason that you have been asked to go find out that very question.
All right.
All right.
So is this far enough away we're going to need to take the Tiger Shark, or are we going to be walking or taking the tubes or the grav thingy-majiggers or any of that stuff? I mean, how far away are we talking?
You probably wouldn't want to walk, but I would say that there are other, potentially other options. Like you could take a combination of the various sort of intership transportation systems, or you could sort of fly around to the outside to a different docking port. Up to you guys. So you would want to do something other than walking, but you could probably have multiple choices otherwise.
I myself am always a fan of bringing the Tiger Shark, just because having some big old guns handy if we need them is always a good thing.
Why would you want to shoot the ship? It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, well, you remember that time with the cat giraffes.
That's only a rumor. That never really happened.
I'd rather not take chances. For me, I'd rather take the Tiger Shark.
Okay.
All right. I'll meet you at the hangar.
All right.
I consider tossing the piece I've just ripped off the wall over my shoulder, then I'll take it with me.
When you realize that you don't actually have a shoulder.
True enough.
It's
Stick it
just
in
kind
your
of
bucket.
sticking out of the slime. Just yeah.
I might need that later. I don't know what it does yet, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
Mhm.
It didn't seem to spark when I pulled it out of the wall.
So so
Make your way.
Rick climbs aboard the tiger shark. The smooth angles and clean edges. A big contrast to the dust and half builtness and general just not quite disrepair of the juggernaut, but nevertheless unsettling level of jury-riggedness to this super clean, ultra high-tech, so advanced you can't even see the control consoles.
Yeah, well, I think we can definitely go back to that classic sci-fi film, Men in Black. We got Old and Busted, New Hotness. Old and Busted,
Right.
Hotness.
Yeah, and you got those controls that are white on a white background and light up white and it lets you know when you've done something.
And the only way you can tell where the controls are because there are little scrapes around some of them where Shim's claws have caught on something.
I don't remember the meme, but I do kind of imagine the cat banging away at the keyboard as the way
Yes.
it looked.
Keyboard cat,
Keyboard cat. Play us off, Shem.
All right. So I think as you, what does it look like when the tiger shark launches out of the juggernaut from its primary docking port? Is it like a launch tunnel like in BSG, or is it a big cargo bay?
It's a blorp. It's a blorp.
Well, I know we've got the sort of the membrane like shield, but I mean, is it in a big hangar bay, or is it in a little launch tube or something?
I think it's in a big hangar bay.
Yeah, I agree. Big hangar bay, but when it comes out, it's more like something's passing through like a bubble wall.
Yeah,
and so it just goes bloop.
Stretchy
stretches a little behind it, and then boom, it comes back.
Yep. Yeah. So
there's always a little bump when you get through.
So you all make your way to the tiger shark, get on board. It launches, emerges through this glistening, slimy, membranous barrier that keeps out the vacuum of space, and fly around towards the back of the ship. On your way to the port, which will be the closest to this particular cargo bay you're looking for, you do in fact see where this comet has impacted the ship. It's not a huge mass, but it did leave kind of a, once you get up near it, there's sort of a groove and a mild little crater with sort of a glowing rock still embedded in the side of the juggernaut. Not too far from where this port you're looking for is.
That's going to cost a couple credit boxes to buff out.
I'm sure we've got another one somewhere. There's lots of hull. We just turn that side away.
No, we'll be just fine.
We just inherited an asteroid or a comet. That part's great. Always wanted to have a comet of my own. I don't know what I'll do with it yet, but I'm sure I can find it some use for a big, large rock.
Yeah.
Or
it's kind of pretty, glowing green like that.
I wonder if we can break that up into smaller pieces and sell it in a drink.
Ooh.
Now, you guys, we got a mission here. I know the big glower rock is both inspiring to curiosity and also dread, but at the same time and in equal measure. But we do have a mission. So let's stay focused on on finding our way to our intended location.
This is great. We get to go check out a new location of the ship, and it actually was something we were supposed to do. This time, Shem, I'm going to beat you to the shinies. I know you're faster than me, taller than me, a little bit more intelligent than me, and you can probably kill me, but I'm going to make it.
I would never try to kill you, Butt Up.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
You'd get all in her fur.
I might steal your bucket because your bucket is shiny, but I would
Not the
never try to
bucket.
kill you.
Not the bucket. I'm warning you. I know where you shed.
The answer is everywhere. So as you make your way with the tiger shark past this comet impact and to the little port airlock that you were, I think, probably kind of docking with the tiger shark, I think, for this particular entrance to the ship. You secure against the airlock and cycle it, and sure enough, you have reached an area of the ship that is obvious right away that it has been in disrepair and not used for probably a really long time, because this corridor that you see immediately outside the airlock is mostly dark. But here and there along this long corridor, there's like one light here and there that are flickering, and there's dust everywhere. It's obviously like long abandoned and giving you very much an alien horror movie vibe.
So we got atmosphere in this section of the ship.
Yeah,
Oh, it's got plenty of atmosphere.
there's atmosphere.
How about air?
That I can't guarantee. But it looks moved and ready. If you're like an evil thing from another world.
So
We probably got one.
It's pressurized at least.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still going in with my my glob suit,
All right.
face mask down, because I don't trust this this air none at all.
Relax, I'm sure you'll be fine. You too, Rick.
I'll let you guys test it because I don't have my helmet.
Why don't
You forgot the helmet.
No, I don't have an actual spacesuit. All I've got is my flight suit.
Okay. Well, so because of the nature of this game, I'll reiterate that you spend your gear points on special equipment, but ordinary things that it makes sense that you would have, you just have. So you could have a space helmet.
An ordinary flashlight.
An environment suit, yeah.
So
well, and so probably this would, the bubble suit that you used primary adventure probably wouldn't be the appropriate tool for this particular application. But you can definitely have like a helmet that just fits onto your flight suit. I think that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or a rebreather. You could have one of those like gas mask respirators like in Star Wars Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go Empire Strikes Back.
All right. So clear plexiglass face mask with a little tube coming out, to give you air, and it's just got like a strap that goes around your head, and that's all.
Yeah.
It's a gas mask that lets everyone see your face.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's got lights inside. So
Sure.
While Shem is fussing with their gas mask, I'm gonna go.
okay.
First. It's gonna take a while.
Yeah. You're also absorbing a lot of dust on the.
I know. It
There
itches.
you go. Yeah. So I think though Butt Up is preceding ahead of you, you definitely can absolutely see which way Butt Up went because there is
Slime
a
trail.
slime trail through the middle of this dusty corridor.
All right. Let's have a look then. So I'll follow Butt Up. Got my Glebos Nork 43 calibers Glebos Nork in a low slung holster on my thigh.
Mm-hmm.
Flashlight in hand, peering around into all the corners.
Ooh. I press a button on the side of my bucket. There's a tiny little flashlight that lights up.
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah, and Shem is bringing up the rear, and keeping an eye out for anything extraneous that might be worth putting in a pocket.
I kind of imagine in the dim light, if you're looking at us coming out, and with Butt-Up kind of making whistling noises as you're looking around and going, ooh, that's neat, ooh, that's neat. One can also flash back to Star Wars again as R2-D2 moving through the darkness with his worried whistle kind of moving along. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you guys are making your way through this sort of darkened corridors, you know you have a little ways to go, even though you flew around to this sort of the region of the ship where this place is. It's still a little bit of walking that you're going to be doing, making your way through these corridors. Did any of you actually look closely at a schematic to kind of find out exactly where you're going, or are you kind of just winging it?
That would not have been something that was on Rick's mind.
It would have been on Shem's, because she's used to getting lost in these corridors. So she's got one of the ship's little portable panel diagnostic things that has a map on it.
Okay. So you definitely, I think what I'm going to also rule is that your little display also has, as just one of the side features for it, a little motion sensor device that, if anything else is moving in the corridors, it'll bling, ping a little dot on there for it.
Okay.
So, if there was some sort of a threat in the area that could be detected from motion, it might show up on this little thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will accept that.
All right.
I will accept that upgrade to the pad.
Mm-hmm. So I think as you guys are going around, you turn a corner, and then at the other end of this long, darkened, creepy corridor, you see suddenly some sort of a flickering light, and just a distorted voice that says, "Go back," and then the light disappears.
I think we have to go this way.
Yep. All in favor of going towards the creepy voice, raise your hand.
Yep, or whatever.
It's probably just the captain trying to lead us to the right place. He might be a little bit deceptive here.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rick, tell me about the waters of your home world. I'm going to climb up the ceiling.
Well, my own personal experience is a couple of rivers, and which fed into the old swimming hole.
What's a river?
Rivers where you got water flowing past in a fairly good amount, but not as much as like a tidal wave or something like that.
Oh, so like a pipe.
Yeah, well, pipes like you got here on the Juggernaut. I mean, if you take all the water in the river and stick it in the pipe, it would be like a huge old pipe.
The kind that cool the engines, the coolant ones.
Those big old pipes. Unless you talk about, now I ain't never seen it myself, but the Mississippi is even bigger than that, and it's like a whole mile wide.
Who's this hippie? And who's she married to?
And actually, it's funny. They don't call Mississippi a lady, which is weird because a lot of them either do. They call them Old Man River.
Mm-hmm.
Is he alive like me then?
Some people treat him that way. Yeah.
Wow. And he's really, really big?
Mile wide and hundreds of miles long.
Wow. And he fits through the tubes okay, too.
Well, no, because they ain't got no tubes there. That was just an example of how wide it'd be if it was in a tube.
But if they haven't got any tubes, how do they stay contained?
They don't.
What? It just flows everywhere?
Sometimes it's called a flood.
Well, I've seen a flood. We've had problems with the maintenance of some of the lower lavatory levels.
Yep, that happens with rivers too.
Oh man, that stinks.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have to say, yep, it do that. That's for certain.
And as you turn another corner there, you see standing before a big set of double doors, the sci-fi style, doors, not regular swinging doors.
Front doors.
But you see at the midway down this corridor, once again by those doors, you see a little bit of this flickering light, which seems to be vaguely humanoid shaped, but kind of flickering, and it's holding out its hands to you, and then kind of gesticulating wildly. But this time you don't hear any sound, and then the voice disappears again, or then the light disappears again.
What shape of humanoid does it look like?
It's clearly standing upright, and it has limbs that it is gesturing with, but it is indistinct otherwise.
That doesn't look a lot like the captain. I don't think he's got legs.
Nah. Is there like a panel we can hook into to run a diagnostic on this area?
Is there any power in this area?
Well, there's definitely there's power, but as indicated by the occasional light which is flickering. But mostly you get the sense that there might be electrical power, but the bulbs have not been maintained. The light panels.
Give me a second to see what I can do. And I'm going to pull off a random wall panel and climb in behind the wall to see what I can do. The bucket kind of clunks against the side of the wall, and then falls down the side because I keep forgetting it doesn't go with me.
All right.
I'll grab the bucket.
So, what are you? You're going inside the wall. Are you looking for anything in particular, or what are you attempting?
It's kind of an engineering from the inside. Imagine your doctor could crawl inside your skin.
Mm-hmm. Well, are you trying to fix the lights, or what? What are you trying to fix?
It was specifically to try to get one of the info panels working.
Oh, okay. So I think that you can definitely find one of the info panels that you had passed that was dark, and you crawl along behind there, and you see from inside that there are some wires leading to it that look like they have been frayed and abraded somehow. That it has caused a short, and you can see actually some scorch marks around there.
Okay. I will reach into another part of the wall and just kind of randomly pluck a couple of wires somewhere else to see if I can bypass this particular area.
All right. One of the flickering lights that was over the heads of the rest of you goes out.
Hey, Bud, what are you up to in there?
Working.
So you're attempting to fix the info panel then, so let's get an engineering check at a level 3.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's see what happens. That is a 5.
That's a 5. So with a 5 you are successful, and the engineering this computerized info panel boots up. The rest of you can see that from the corridor. You just know from this side, Bud Up, that you have restored power to the panel.
Did I get it?
Yeah, I think you got it.
Cool. And I will proceed to... You look at the panel and you can start seeing slime forming around the panel as I'm squeezing myself around it.
As the panel boots up, you do actually see this flickering light seem to shimmer again, gesture wildly, and then walk through the set of double doors. And then it's gone again.
I think it means go that way. But what's the panel say?
Right now, it is showing what seems to be a cafeteria lunch menu from God only knows how long ago.
Ooh. They eat that? What do your people eat, Rick? Or should I say who?
Rick looks over the panels. I never seen some of these things before. I'm not sure I'd ever want to eat them. This ain't human stuff here.
Your people are kind of stuck to one planet, right?
Well, not anymore. No, we're not. No. Used to be. Started off on one planet, but I mean, everybody starts off on one planet, right?
But you guys just left home. It's like your first time stepping out. It's kind of cute.
Yeah. I gotta get drunk with this guy. So.
Yeah, so I think the
Yeah.
the menu here is suggesting not only food that you guys have not heard of, but calendar days of the week calendars that you have not seen before.
I think it might be broken.
Well, it's just this one thing for sure. It ain't connected to Nemo.
Yeah, that's weird.
And you see the gel kind of vibrate slightly.
Have you come back out of the wall?
Yeah, he was sliding around the panel and
Right.
slowly zooming back into.
So no, I like the idea. I'm just tossing it out there of you literally coming out like above the panel and sort of like dripping down it.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That's how he's reading the screen.
Yeah. Well, let's see. This ain't going
I
to
think
give us much information. Here.
The screen is designed to be interactive, but I'm gonna need a systems roll from one of you to try to get it to display anything else.
Okay.
Or
I can help.
I've got systems, but it's only a 1, so I can help out.
Yeah, so I think
If
I think this the design of the screen is not that strange. So I think just a +2 to try to see what other information it could provide to you.
Okay. Does anybody have systems except me?
I have it at +3 actually.
Yeah. So I'll help and give you the extra point.
Okay, so as I'm sliming over the panel, parts of me kind of bubble up to press into the panel to try to control it and see what
Alright.
happens. Let's see where they are.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's a success.
Ooh, dessert.
I think what you find is that there are, at least by its normal functioning, there are a couple of different modes that you can engage with. There's map. There's announcements, and then let me think what else there would be. I think there's something called Bunyan points.
All right.
And then there's personal communications that seems to require a login.
I clicked Bunyan points.
All right. Apparently, your current Bunyan points balance is 0.
Oh, I lost. How do I play this game?
I don't think we're going to get too much useful out of that. It looks like just kind of,
Yeah. Take a look at the
not a
announcements.
critical
and see,
system there. Yeah.
see what the last announcements were. If it was, what was on special tomorrow, or was it a announcement to abandoned ship, or
Okay.
And as the little bubbles form in Bottom's body over the screen, as it moves the slime around.
I think what you see immediately is that the most recent entry on there suggests a communications error, and the last one before that looks like it's a year calendar, but it's not clear. Like, you don't even recognize it. So it might be a really long time ago, but the last 3 entries are that let's see. So there was one that announces that tours have begun of the new robot manufacturing wing. And then there's another one that says it's a notice to crew to avoid antagonizing the swamp creature.
I knew we had one of those. I absolutely knew. Does this thing have a camera function?
I'm sure they're just talking about the flight director or something. Maybe the staff are also partially swamp creatures.
And then the third announcement that it sees there is that they're offering courses in dance fighting.
I clicked that one.
Well, it says it describes the course as a way to defeat your enemies in style, self-defense with flair, and it encourages you to sign up for the next available course session, which is to be determined.
I think I might have missed it.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I think we both did.
Let's go see if we. I mean, this is all great, but we still need to find that cargo hold. You got that? You still got that map there, Sham?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Where are we going next?
I click on the map button.
Okay. It does display a series of corridor schematics.
Okay. Does it match what's on my tablet?
Yes, for the most part. Although there are some things on your tablet that are not listed on that info map.
Okay.
They even have a convenient "You are here" button. That's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so you are here on the info panel map does match what your little tablet schematic says. And sure enough, the double doors that you saw that flickering light go through is the entrance to the cargo bay that you guys are supposed to inventory.
Well, let's get at it too. Fellow crew members, let's have it. I mean, this is fun and all, but we got a job to do.
It's true.
So, Rick goes up to the doors and opens them up.
They're locked.
Of course they are. All right.
I'm a shoo-in for hand fighting course. Why haven't you opened the
All
door,
right.
Rick?
So
One of you folks is going to have to do this because if I'm opening the doors, there's going to be shooting involved.
Oh, do your people not have doors?
Yeah. Oh, we have lots of doors. I'm not an expert in breaking and entering like you guys are.
I object to that. I don't usually enter.
I do enter, but I don't usually break.
See, there you go. Between the two of you got everything handled.
They just look like normal doors, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of old, but there's nothing obviously unusual about them. They
10 foot wide, 10 feet high, made out of wood, iron bands, big brass lock on it.
Torches. There are torches.
Thou shalt not enter here.
A knocker shaped like a skull. Yeah.
When we say they're locked, is it because Rick walked up to them, they didn't automatically open? Is that
yes. Yeah, they don't open, and at least pushing on them or immediately do not open freely.
I go to the side where the door controls are.
Mm-hmm.
Rick is clearly not capable of using them, apparently. So I took the little thing and tried the door control.
Okay. It does not have power.
Oh.
I look back at the screen back there.
That's a long way, but I can probably make the power from there.
So I think we get another engineering check or a systems check to see if there's another way to open them. Depending on whether you're trying through the info panel or to jury rig getting it power.
I mean, Butta looks like he's clearly sizing up some of the wires that are running along the walls to pull out so we can transfer power.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So go ahead and make an engineering check. Targeting, okay. 5 is, and I was going to say 2, so 5 is a success with flare. So what I'm going to say is you see where it would be very easy to restore power to the door, but the thing that you also notice about it is that it looks like someone deliberately disconnected the power.
Someone wanted to
just reconnect it.
At this point, when he notices this, he's already ripped a large rope of wire out of the wall. It was probably useful for something or other. He strung it all the way there and then realizes, oh, wait. There we go.
Yep. And then so you hear kind of a boom, and the little light above the door opens. Or, excuse me, a
Quick.
light above the door turns on, and the door doesn't open, but it obviously has power now.
Yeah, quick. Whoever wants to bet that this is actually a robot factory receptacle and they've all gone evil.
I ain't taking that action.
I was hoping it was where they stored all the food. It sounded kind of intriguing.
All right, let's have a look.
Press the
So
button.
Rick is going to walk up to the doors and see if they open for him.
Good job, Rick.
They do, in fact, require pressing the button, but they do open when the button is pressed. So what you see, at first, there's only the light from the hallway spilling into what is clearly a cavernous, dark space. But as you enter, you get that classic thing where the lights not only power on like in sequence in sets, but they make the big in this clearly enormous cavernous space. And what you see in the immediate vicinity is that it does look to be a large series assembly line of robotic arms designed to assemble something.
Ooh.
And what you see kind of in the distance across the, this large, huge space, like hundreds of yards ahead of you, is the, metallic industrial look of this room starts to get kind of a greenish tinge. And is that water at the far end? So right now you're still kind of just standing in the doorway, and you see mostly this robotic assembly line.
Rick is going to just kind of walk down the road, and he is not unfamiliar with inventories. I mean, he's the quartermaster. He spends a lot of time counting things. Mm-hmm. And does like this robotic assembly line have like parts on it half assembled as if it was stopped in the middle of working, or is it just empty?
It does. You can tell that I'm trying to think if you... No, I think that you can tell that this part near the door is clearly an early stage of the manufacturing process. So,
okay,
it's not got fully assembled pieces, but it does look like it is robots making robots. And so there are robotic components being assembled by the robotic
and there's like parts bins and stuff like that over here at this end, and they're all like feeding various conveyor belts that merge together as it goes down toward the far end.
Yes, and some of them, have passages like through the walls into other areas. So as big as this area is, it looks like it does actually connect to others still.
This is going to take a long time to inventory. As I see it, we got two choices. We can either spin the thing up so that it finishes making whatever it's making, because then we can say, hey, one big giant warbot, or we can be counting all these parts that go into it before it starts. So that's the first choice. The second choice is to figure out some reason why we should just leave this place the heck alone and get our asses out of here.
Why would we leave it alone? There's so much stuff in here.
Yeah,
I could add arms to my bucket. I don't know why my bucket needs arms, but I could do it.
I can understand your enthusiasm, Bud, but I don't know about you, but Shem and I here, we don't tend to get up again when we get smushed.
While you guys are having this conversation, sort of in the central area in front of the door where you guys are looking, you see this sort of flickering light shape together again, and it seems to be gesturing around, and then it seems to turn in like surprise, looking back, and then it seems to fall over and disappear again.
Hey, there's something living down here. Hello.
Yeah, that's a great big positive for warbots.
Maybe it's a swamp monster. Maybe it's been counting all these things all this time, and you won't have to do anything, Rick.
I have a strong suspicion that you are wrong, but let's go have a look anyways. So Rick gets out his flashlight and starts moving that direction.
All right. So there is dim light throughout the room now that the room has had power restored to it, and you see that the lights at the far end have just stopped. Like it has just reached the far end of this space. And then after the lights on the ceiling have all lit, you do start hearing some hums and beeping coming from various other places. So clearly this whole factory floor is in the process of doing a slow power up.
Okay, so if we're going to stop this thing, we're going to need to stop it faster.
Why do we need to stop it? It's what the room is supposed to do, isn't it?
Yeah, but is it really necessary right now? I mean, do we actually need warbots?
They might not be war bots. They could be like, dishwasher bots. Or maybe drink maker bots. You could finally have a drink with me.
Okay.
I don't really drink, but that's not the point.
All right, we need to find... I'd really feel a lot better if we found a panel or something that would tell us how these things are supposed to be programmed and what it is that they actually do. Because it's possible we could reprogram them.
Well, we could just ask whatever that was.
Well, he doesn't seem to want to talk to us too much.
I'm gonna go find out what that. You're gonna go move in that direction of that thing.
Okay, of the light.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean you can go to where the light was, and there is nothing there.
Go into the light, Rick.
Similar
Go
to when you
into the
passed
light.
what you saw before. You might, because you guys would be familiar with the concept of holograms, it's perhaps something like that, because it seemed to have like a three-dimensional shape, but it was kind of flickery, but now that it has turned off, there doesn't seem to be anything there.
Huh.
Do they have holograms on Shem's on Rick's planet, Shem? I think he's confused.
Yeah, they would. In the world building of Space Casey, this all happened. Yeah,
It's more like Butt-Up doesn't really think that Rick's planet has much more than water.
Well, it does have a lot of water.
Well, but to establish in terms of the great base level reality, yes, absolutely, the human civilization had hologram technology.
Okay. So I'm going to look for that panel to tell me what it is that this factory actually makes.
Okay. I think that there are probably a number of panels that seem like they're display screens for the equipment, the various pieces of equipment, and there are several of them that might actually be designed for like specific monitoring of the different equipment stations. Then if you found like another one similar to the one in the hallway that was on the wall, you see that these are all all of those screens are starting to light up, by the way, and they're still sort of like booting up.
Mm-hmm.
But you could probably go to another one of the wall panels and try to make a more difficult systems check in order to, I think, you have discovered from the previous panel that there's a certain base level of functions that are available easily, but you would kind of have to hack your way in a little bit to get to more detailed information.
Okay, so I'm going to give this a shot, and
I think we're looking
we'll see
to get detailed information.
Oh, I have a +1. So that's not going to be happy.
So if you want, like, you can do the roll, and then obviously, like, you guys can apply, aspects, fate points, any of those things that you want to do. But there's also the alternative of trying a roll, and if it's a failure, you either don't get what you want, or you get what you want at a serious cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me just see what this comes up, and we'll take it from there. 2.
Okay, so that is a failure. Are you
Okay.
thinking that you just are having trouble getting it past the?
Yeah.
You could also try if you wanted to try to do your aspects or whatever to try to get it to the 6.
Yeah. The problem is that I only have the systems as a +1, and I don't really have anything to boost it with.
Any
Yeah.
aspects?
Yeah, I don't
Um,
really have anything like that I could do. The only thing that could possibly work is Grease Monkey, but even if I spend a fate point and invoke it, it only gives me up to 4.
Okay.
So
Well, so
I'd say just it does not work.
okay, yeah, I think what you find is this you find is the same sort of screen functions from the other area. But you also see just kind of that there's just a little display on there that suggests there's some sort of an alert message that's playing, but you can't access it.
I think when the screen turns blue, that's bad.
Yeah. Yeah, BSOD is generally bad.
I'm gonna look around the manufacturing floor itself.
It's funny
Okay.
how the idea that blue means a computer's dead is spread through the universe so fast. That's weird.
Yeah. Well, they didn't want to use red because it's just a really jarring color in some cultures.
The color of water, Rick. Even I know that.
All right.
So-
While they're poking around with that, actually, I want to go down to the far end of the place that had
Okay.
the green glow and there was water.
Yeah,
So I
so
wanna go and look at
what
that.
you actually find as you move a little further into this manufacturing floor is that the floor has sunken somewhat on the far end, and the green
Like
is actually
Perhaps a little.
yeah, and flooded. And so what you see, the green is actually strange plant growth, vines and enormous leaves and ferns and so on have sort of grown up around all of the walls and everything. And so the green glow was actually just the lights reflecting off plants like foliage and so on in this flooded rear part of the manufacturing bay. And you can definitely see that the robotic like equipment assembly line continued into that end of the room, but it has flooded and somewhat sunken since.
Huh. Well, this is weird, but not entirely unknown. The does I mean I have no technical way to tell whether this is structurally sound or not. It certainly looks that way. But does the floor under my feet feel solid over this section of the area?
How do you try to find out?
Just kind of stomp my foot a little bit.
It seems
Bump up and down a little bit. Seems
solid enough at a foot stomp.
All right. Well, how about this? I call back to my friends on the other side of the room. How about we say inventory, one gigantic robot assembly line, and then just call it a day. and one tangle of vines and roots that have grown up in absolute darkness.
Ooh, what's its name?
Gerald. Its name is now Gerald.
Hello, Gerald.
Yeah, I agree with Rick on this one.
So as you're kind of having this conversation, once again, this sort of flickering light appears. This time it seems to actually be standing out on the surface of the water about 30 yards out from the water's edge, but it's not submerged. It looks to be perhaps where the floor used to be. And it is striding out in that direction. Then it turns and looks, and then it sinks down like it's collapsing to its knees. and then flickers out again.
All right. You guys know that when there's an actual hologram, there's got to be some kind of transmitter, either inside it or on the wall or something like that. And I don't think there's one of those around here.
I'm going to crawl across the ceiling and see what I can find.
Okay. You're looking for, a hologram projector?
Yep.
So let's see. I think... trying to decide if you need to... Yeah, I think you need to make a roll because, at least in this part of the room, a lot of the ceiling has these plant growth kind of all over it, climbing up the walls and onto the ceiling.
Excuse me, pardon me, coming through. Sorry, Gerald.
So let's have you make a survival check. I'm looking for just a +2.
Do I need to be trained? Do I need to be trained?
Yeah, so if you... No, I don't think for this, but it would be a rolling at a +0.
Okay.
-1.
Yeah. So I think what happens actually here is that you do spot something that looks like it could be a hologram projector, but you can't quite get over to it because what you're finding is that as you're moving across the ceiling, the vines are starting to sort of squirm around beneath you.
Hey, I love you too.
It's making it harder because you're not really able to attach to the ceiling, but the vines are moving around now a little bit, and it's kind of unsteady.
Let's keep it platonic, Gerald. I mean, you're nice and all, but I'm already kind of seeing something.
Yeah. And I think all of you actually start to see that the vines start to squirm around a little bit all over the place, and you hear from somewhere off in the back corner kind of a blurble swooshing sound.
Swamp creature.
Rick, talk to Gerald. He's in my way. I think I see the thing you're looking for, but it's way over there.
I'm not sure this thing actually has like a language.
What makes you say that? I'm not really sure you had a language until you started speaking.
Yeah, have you heard this thing talking?
Well, no, you're the one talking to him. Whatever. Can't tell from here.
All right. Just because you asked so nice like there, but so excuse me there, Mr. Viney creature that's hanging on the walls and the ceiling and the floor and all over here. We don't actually mean any harm whatsoever. We're just trying to understand what's going on here because our boss wants to have a report. And the more bullshit, the more stuff we put in the report, the happier it's going to be. So if you wouldn't mind, just making way so that we can have a look around for a little while, and then we will be leaving you in peace because, quite frankly, there's absolutely nothing down here that we're all that interested in, except because, like we said, we got this boss asking for a report.
So let's see. I'm going to have you make a contested rapport against another role that you don't know what it is, but you'll know the number.
Okay. All right. I got a 4, and I'm going to spend a fate point to invoke better to trust and bleed than suspect and freeze.
Okay. Yeah.
So I want to get a 6 there.
Okay. So 3 was what you ended up going against. So with a 6, that's a success with style. And so what I think you experience as you are giving this sort of friendly speech is you have the sense, first of all, of something large moving through the water ominously while the vines continue to writhe like a massive snakes on the ceiling and walls. And then something emerges out of the water just sort of almost like a pseudopod or a long neck with just a tiny sort of cluster of vine-like things emerges from the water and seems to just look at you.
Well, hello there. I'm pleased to meet you. And because that is Rick's to seek out new life, all of it aspect. But if you got a hand, I'd be more than happy to shake it. So I don't know if there's anything dangerous there, but he's just gonna walk up to it.
Okay. I think that so you would have to get up to where this thing is emerging. You would have to pretty much go into the water like up to your waist.
That's fine.
All right.
I got an environment suit, so.
Okay. So you're going ahead and wading in then?
I'm gonna go ahead and wade in.
Like offering a hand out to this sort of like pseudopod, the blobby thing. All right.
Yes.
I think that for a moment it just kind of watches you do that, and it's clearly, its attention is sort of following your progress. And then as you stand there, just kind of your hand held out for a little while, one vine sort of kind of comes out and sticks out. It doesn't reach your hand, but it like holds out like you are holding out your hand.
And I will take grasp of it and give it a little, squeeze. The old Kentucky caress there, and it's like, pleased to meet you. My name is Rick Monroe. That there's Shem. One up on the ceiling. That's Bud up. And,
good job, Rick.
we are your crew here on the Juggernaut, and sir, that absolutely none of this is making any sense to you, but that's okay. I was in the same position not too long ago myself.
So what's Shem up to right now while this is happening?
She's investigating the conveyor belts.
Okay.
To try and keep away from the water because cat.
Sure.
And just kind of to see what's going on, and if there might be something she can grab off the line, just as an example of the crap that was in there to support Rick's stuff.
Yeah.
So in his report.
I think that as you've been investigating the line, you definitely find some cool shiny things that are not super shiny at first. It took some investigation to realize that there's a layer of dust obscuring how cool and shiny these various claw-like appendages and lasers are that clearly get added to something. But then as the various assembly line pieces are continuing to boot up, and as you're looking along, you find at sort of a central console a really big red button that finally lights up as it finishes booting up.
Oh my god. It is so shiny and pretty. I'm gonna push the button.
Yeah.
Just imagine the low light lit, the face of the eyes, the giant anime eyes of the cat, sort of
with the slit pupils. She's
sparkles and glitter.
the reflection of the red button.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and.
She does. I want to do this, pushing the button, the giant red button with flair, and she just does it with both hands.
Yeah. So go ahead and take a fate point for that self-compel. Although I was going to compel you if you didn't go for it already. So you get a fate point for that self-compel. But as you hit that button, all of a sudden, all around you guys, you hear the assembly line resume full operation, and so all of a sudden now there's a lot of sound and activity from all of these machines, and they're welding, and it's clear that like some of them are working better than others, but clearly this factory is trying to resume operation now, and it's a lot of light and activity. And Rick, over by you, this seems to alarm the swamp monster somewhat. It's suddenly thrashing around and like reacting violently, and
I don't know what you folks are doing back there, but I think that our friend over here mighty appreciative. Turn that off again.
There's no off button. It's just the on button, and it is so big and red and shiny. It is so cool.
Go do something.
I would like a an athletics check from both Butt Up and Rick as the various bits of vines that you were kind of on. Rick on the ground, half in water, and Butt Up still on the ceiling. I'm imagining.
Yep.
As they start to writhe and thrash around more violently. So gonna look for 3, I think. Whoa, that's a -2 for Butt Up. So I think that for Butt Up, you, unless you're going to try to invoke something else to support it, I think that you are flung free from the ceiling and are going to get, like flung against the wall, I think. And you're going to take some stress.
Can I activate my bucket?
Yes, absolutely. So I think I said looking for 3. So with a -2 to 3, that would be 5 points of stress that you can try to counter in whatever ways you feel like you want to reduce that the number of shifts.
Well, the bucket can take 2 as the shield is activated.
Yeah.
And then that still leaves. How many was it?
It was because it was looking for a 3 and you got a -2.
I will take 2 in stunned.
Okay.
And 1 in broken. I never really understood winded for this character.
Okay. I think wind could be just read as tired.
Yeah, I'll take tired. I'll take winded then instead of broken.
Okay. So that means you are winded, or no?
Isn't it when you take 1 more past your max? That's
when it's full.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't I take a moderate consequence then? Because that'll fill up winded, stunned, and my bucket.
All right.
Moderate takes up 3. Is it?
Moderate takes 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't I do that?
Okay.
And I'll just take the 1 other point in my bucket. Let's see.
I think I have a suggestion for the moderate consequence.
Okay.
Splattered.
I was thinking spread too thin, but similar.
Yeah.
Much along the same what I was thinking. Splatter
Yeah.
works as a great description. I will take it.
Okay.
The bucket kind of over ends, and I end up just sort of splattered against the wall. The bucket kind of streaming down the wall at that point.
Oh dear. How about Rick? Did you make your athletics check as the vines under your feet start?
Sorry, I didn't think you were asking.
No, so I did ask both of you, but that's fine. So let's go ahead. We'll do it now.
I got a 1.
Okay, so we were looking for 3.
So that goes 3. All right, I'm going to spend a fate point,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to I'm going to just tag. You say farm boy like it's a bad thing.
Okay.
And just say that this is no different than clearing the weeds out of the swimming hole.
Okay.
Just like Mississippi.
So yeah, I like that, and so that brings it to a tie, which what this means is like the quote opponent would get a boost. So maybe we could just say you have managed to keep your feet so far, but you're a little like off balance, and so we say temporary boost, off balance.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So in the meantime, these machines have resumed operation, but some of them are clearly malfunctioning. Shem. So you realize that one is clearly overheating and is starting to throw off sparks, and it's pretty close to you. So I'm going to have you make you can choose, I guess, how you want to react to it. But if you're wanting to just like jump away, that'll be athletics.
Okay. Yeah. because sparks and fur do not mix.
Yeah.
3.
All right. Yeah. So I think that. How about this? So because that's a tie, also no damage or anything, but there is a boost, and so maybe the boost is just like, tail floofed, like you're freaked out a little.
How about tail singed?
Tail singed. Okay.
Like a couple of the sparks hit my tail as I was fleeing.
All right. Yeah.
I meant to do that.
Okay.
What are you talking about? You're on fire. I'm not on fire.
All right. So you have leapt away from that central control console as this is all starting to happen, and the machinery is continuing to kind of try to ramp up. But you can see here and there some machines not working properly, others working properly. This clearly is not a well-functioning assembly line at the moment, but it's trying. All right.
Okay. I'm
And
going to
butt
go
up is
back.
splatted against the wall. Does not look good.
All right. I'm going to go back to the control panel and see if I can stop it.
All right.
Somehow.
Well, currently, there's still a shower of sparks in that area, which is why you had to jump away. So, are you doing something about that, or?
I don't know that I can do much about that. Only thing I can think to do is go ahead and take the stress and see if I can just get in there and get out real fast.
Well,
Like,
what are
get
you
in
trying
there.
to do?
What I was thinking about was see if I could rip off a panel underneath it and just swipe the wires and cut them.
Okay.
So it would be like a power failure, and everything would turn off because there's nothing centrally commanding it to operate.
Okay. Well, I think that to do that while the sparks are flying is going to be pretty difficult. So I think that would be I think that's like a +8 engineering check to do that quickly while sparks are flying down on you.
All right. Hold on.
Yeah.
Rick sees Shem kind of, wanting to get to that console, but there's sparks flying all over the place. And it's like, hold on, Shem. And Rick will interpose himself in his armored suit, his glob suit, to protect Shem from the sparks while she tries to shut the thing off.
Okay.
Sounds like a creative advantage.
Yeah. So that would be what skill do you think makes the most sense for that?
As far as the main thing is just being able to get in there and just withstand this is probably
Resolve?
I was thinking physique. Resolve or physique.
Yeah, well, so I think physique would make more sense from a physical standpoint.
Yeah.
I think that you are
we could also do
voluntarily taking some stress to put yourself in the way. But the question is, how effective are you at blocking the sparks from the other part of the console, right?
Yeah. Whatever you think is the best skill to use, I'll roll on.
So I think that, first of all, because you weren't right there, it would take you a moment to get over there. But we can assume that that's the next step. In the meantime, Butt Up is what trying to. You are still sort of splattered. So
I'm pulling myself together.
You're going to have that consequence for a little while, but in the meantime, you are working on that. Presumably, are you doing anything else or?
Really, just pulling myself together is my main focus for the moment.
Okay. So I think that. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to suggest that, given that you don't want the consequence to actually go away, what Butt-Up might find is that like all of his pseudopods and stuff end up really like spindly because it's his his like shape's been dispersed.
Yeah.
And so that he can get the pieces all back together again, but they're still like not well
kind of floppy
to each other.
I mean, I can try to get rid of the consequence. It's not as hard for me as it might be for others.
Yeah. So I think let's see, I have the little cheat sheet up here. So
I have regenerative powers, which actually means the consequence is one level less difficult for me to get rid of.
Right. And so what that would mean is we would need, if you're making the check, we would need a +4 for whatever the appropriate check would be, which is probably
2.
science.
+2 in this case. Again, it's one level lower than
well, no, because so a moderate consequence normally would be +4 for someone else to make it on you and +6 for you to make it on yourself. A mild consequence is +2 for someone else to do it on you and +4 for you to do it on yourself.
Okay.
The idea being that if you're trying to perform surgery on yourself, it's harder than if you're doing it on someone else.
Okay.
Yeah. So it would probably be science would make sense.
At +4. I mean, there's a decent chance. I'll try it anyway because I want to try to get myself back together.
Sure.
Because I'm not really useful otherwise. Let's try the science. Science is a 4.
Okay. That's what you needed. So what that means is that your consequence is healing but not cleared. Which what that means mechanically is it can't be invoked against you anymore, but you also can't take another moderate consequence. The slot is still filled.
So I've changed it from splattered to spread thin.
Yeah.
I'm slowly. So what you see is the edges of Butt-Up kind of rolling themselves back together, trying to form larger and larger blobs that are kind of supporting the other larger blobs. It's kind of like he went from being a flat hairstyle to one that's on rollers.
I'm suddenly yeah. I like that. I was just suddenly envisioning the T-1000 reassembling at the end of T2, Terminator 2.
Yeah. And I was thinking Iron Giant.
Oh yeah, there you go. So coming back together then. So just mechanically speaking, you are on the mend, but your moderate consequence slot is still full, so you couldn't take another one. Okay, so in the meantime, Rick is hurrying over to the console to try to obstruct the sparks. And I think while you're on your way there, all of you see that through some of these openings in the walls where these conveyor belts are leading to and from other areas, you start seeing the glow of eyes and hearing mechanical clanking sounds.
Oh, this don't look good. I got a bad feeling about this.
All right.
This should be fun.
I think then for your roll to create an advantage, how about this? I'm not going to make you roll to successfully do it, but what we're going to treat it is let's just say you're going to voluntarily take 4 stress to successfully block the sparks.
Okay.
Is that
Can he invoke the I want to get on Shim's good side aspect to lower some of that?
I think that's not gonna. I mean, I think in this case though, like he is literally just using himself to block them. So I'm not sure there's aspects like that would reduce it, but like the armor, for example, does. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you guys feel like if you would rather roll against like a fixed amount, and depending on how the roll goes, and aspects.
I'll take the four consequences.
I think if you're trying to like avoid damage with an attack or something like that, that makes sense. But when the plan is literally just stand in the way, it's hard to imagine how you would avoid taking that damage.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm going to take the stress. I'm going to take a mild consequence on my armor, burned and scorched.
Okay.
And I'm going to take the two stress boxes for winded.
Okay. I'm going to offer a compel.
Okay.
That don't hurt your armor's feelings. Is that by deliberately,
Getting in the way,
and burning the armor, that it is marginally less cooperative for the moment, and I think that you're going to have a -2 to your athletics for a little while.
Because it's being ornery.
Right. It's like you're being crazy. You're just putting yourself directly in harm's way. It's one thing to,
All right.
affect you.
I will
You're not
take
being
this
careful,
as
it
well.
thinks. Okay.
It's not a good day to be a slime-bodied creature.
All right. So, what you find then is that with Rick and his armor blocking the shower of sparks, Shem, you are once again able to reach that central console without immediate danger of being showered with sparks. And so the engineering to do that panel, I would say, is only a 4 now.
I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the consequence being burned and scorched, the consequence is my armor is angry with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's an aspect that you can then compel.
Yeah. I mean,
unless you want to stack it, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that you have both, because you get the fate point for a compel, which is separate from the consequence that you took voluntarily. Right. You follow?
So this is kind of like another armor consequence.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. So but you can try to. What is it that you're trying to do specifically? Would disconnect the power that undo the button press that you did? Is that
basically I'm trying to disconnect the wires onto the panel that are basically I'm trying to stop the conveyor belts by stopping the system that is telling them to operate.
Okay.
So swiping through the wires to either disconnect them or to sever them.
Okay. So I think we're looking for a +4 engineering to do that, down from the +8 when you were trying to do it while sparks were falling on you.
Okay. Let's see. All right. +4.
There you go. So this was definitely to overcome an obstacle. So the tie is you succeed at minor cost. And so I think you do manage to essentially undo the turning on the assembly line, like activating. But what do you think is a minor cost here? I mean, we could say a minor cost would be like 1 point of stress, which we could do. Like like you get a few sparks here and there, or you could come up with something else.
Well, one of my species abilities is electromagnetic vulnerability.
Oh, there you go.
So I think that my fur poofs out, and now I've got a static charge.
Okay, yeah, I like that. So the minor cost here is that you currently are carrying a static charge, and you're kind of all poofy as a result. In the meantime, while all this is happening, is the swamp monster has not calmed down. It is like the vines are starting to like swirl around and like assemble together into a big, larger shape. And it's still a little bit indistinct, but it is clearly agitated and angry, and who knows what it might do. So, but as you cut the wires you were trying to cut, the assembly line machines do, and the sparks stop flying. The clanking sounds and the glowing eyes, though, reveal themselves as a bunch of warbots coming out of the walls. Hooray!
Hey.
Yeah, this is the...
Are there partially assembled bots along the line then?
Yes.
Can I grab one of the lasers?
I'm going to that too. I'd like to move towards one which is nearly assembled, but not quite. Specifically, one that probably doesn't have a head.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to slime over it, put my body inside the body, see if I can control it from there, and let the bucket kind of rest where its head would normally be.
I love that. I think that we probably do need a roll of some kind to see how successful you are, but I love it.
At least it's not moving. It's moving at my speed.
Yeah, so let's say, let's try, do you think engineering makes sense here, or maybe systems? I think engineering is probably more what you're trying to do. Or are you literally just physically moving it?
No, I'm not that strong. No, it's more of I can control it from the inside.
Okay.
Kind of.
Yeah, all right, so that's probably not a trivial thing to try to do.
Oh, no, probably not.
So I think that's probably still a 6.
Okay.
I'm potentially open to ways to try to improve your roll, whatever that might be.
Well, we'll see. I will start with engineering then.
Okay.
And see how far that gets me. Okay, that's a good start.
That's pretty good. A 4 to start, sure.
6 is what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you only need to invoke
I will invoke. I've taken apart these ships and mostly put them back together again. My engineer specialty. So I'm used to working with bits and pieces and making them work.
Yeah. Okay, so that would bring you to a 6, which is a tie. So what I would say is that you are currently able to move this robot along, and you're going to have a minor cost, though, which could be another point of stress, or perhaps...
I was thinking of a couple of different things. One, for the moment, I'm stuck. I can't get out.
Okay,
Or the slime is slowly corrupting it.
Huh.
I like the stuck part.
Yeah.
Personally, I like stuck.
This is my home now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since he's still recovering from splattered.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, he's now like inhabiting this robot suit, but it's kind of like Velcroed. He's now kind of,
you've had to sort of spread yourself through all of these different little nooks and crannies inside the robot that it would be really difficult to pull yourself back out of it. Okay.
And there's these weird tendrils of slime around the edges, especially the ones that are rolled up, so it literally does look like he's got curlers around this weird, bucket-shaped head.
Very nice. Okay, so I think your turn, so to speak, was spent getting that together, but now you have. So what are the rest of you doing as you see these? Let's just go ahead and say evil warbots are coming out of the walls.
Rick is going to draw his 45 caliber Glebus Nork, and saying, I don't think this is something we want to hang around for. Why don't we retreat back to the Tiger Shark and blow this place from outside?
Save Gerald.
and he's gonna make an ordered retreat, and basically if it looks like some robot's gonna shoot at him or is gonna menace him, he's gonna shoot it with his big old hog leg.
Okay. So I think that there are some coming out of the walls, and there's going to be one trying to obstruct your path. So you go ahead and...
Oh, yeah, all right.
Yeah. So you're going to roll shoot against its fight, which I can do in a second here. Yeah. +1. Okay, it gets a -2. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a low roll for that thing. So I think you probably just obliterate that one.
Well, yeah, especially since his 45 caliber Glebus Nork doesn't inflict mild consequences. It's moderate or higher.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you doing, Shem?
Shem wants one of the shiny laser beams.
Okay.
So she's going to jump on top of the conveyor belt, grab one of the lasers, and jump back off, and then follow Rick towards the hangar.
So I think that you are still at. It's going to take your turn to get one of these things. Like I'll say that you just get one. You don't have to roll to find one and pick one up.
Yeah.
What you have is a laser drill, which is a medium weapon.
Okay.
And anybody who's played Horizon Zero Dawn knows that if you blast a weapon off of a robot, you can just pick it up and use it.
Absolutely.
It's got a trigger and everything.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of have to wedge your hand down inside, but.
All right. So I think as it is now the Warbot's turn, though, and so we're going to have 3 of them make attacks. Well, let's see. Trying to think if they would attack Butt Up in your.
I am just a robot. I am just like you.
Yeah, I think that they don't attack Butt Up in the robot body. They're not that smart. But a bunch of them are attacking the swamp creature. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 4 of those. Oops.
Ooh.
Okay, those are attacking the swamp creature, which keep having to. I've pulled up some stats that I'm going to use for the swamp monster and the robots here. So it's got its own. It's it's going to roll its own defense with fight, and it's not bad at that. So. So let's see. Let's just. So 6 against 3, 5 against 3, 6 against -2, and 5 against 1. So it actually takes no damage from the bots, and I think it actually, just in terms of its thrashing around, it takes out a couple of them. Just thrashing around. But I think that, as you guys can see, that it is clearly enraged now, and it is assembling its vines into a behemoth shape that is now stomping and thrashing around that whole half of the room.
Yay! Go, Gerald!
All right, but you're each also getting attacked by one of these things.
Okay. Are they shooting at us or swinging at us?
They have their laser guns.
Okay, I'm going to. Can I use athletics to try to dodge out of the way of that?
Well, so basically, they're going to roll fight, and then you are going to do whatever. Usually, fight would be the. No, okay, they're rolling shoot.
You're defending, right?
Yeah,
you're rolling to defend, and you're rolling to defend, and so normally, I guess athletics would be the shoot, the defense there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So hang on. Yeah. So first, but this one is against you, Shem. So the attack roll is 2. So
now what am I?
You roll athletics as defense.
3.
Okay. Yep. So no damage to you. Next is against Rick.
Okay.
That's a 1.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's 1 point of stress.
I'll take that unstunned. That's
Okay.
1 out of 2 unstunned.
All right. Remind me, do you have any actual conditions right now? You have the consequence
I have
armor and the.
Not personally. I have burned and scorched on my armor.
Oh wait, your athletics defense did.
Oh, that's right. That's
-2?
right.
No.
I did not include the -2, so that would be a minus. That would be a -2 on that because my armor is now putting me in danger instead of taking it away. So I'm gonna take. Okay. I am going to spend a fate point to invoke. Just my armor's. Just my armor. Don't go hurting my armor's feelings now.
Okay.
And then take 1 stress on stunned.
Okay. So what I'll say is that recognizing now how counterproductive it was, it is no longer doing that to you.
Okay. All right.
So you are no longer suffering an athletics penalty, but you did take that stress for that time. Okay. Yeah. And then the robots, you notice, but up that in your robot body, the other robots are not attacking you. However, it's possible that the swamp monster won't be able to tell the difference either.
So, in fact, seems likely.
Yeah. And so, in fact, the swamp monster is going to roll its own fight now against all of the robots that are near it. And it takes out 4 of them. And it's just crash, slam. They're flying. And it's coming closer to you, but where you are.
Good job.
All right. So, what are you guys doing? Robots are countless, by the way. They're still coming out of the walls.
I'd like to convince Gerald I'm on its side.
Okay. How are you going to do that?
Well,
enraged and thrashing around like a wild monster.
Yeah. That's okay. It deserves to have its feelings.
Sure.
Let's see. Well, partially it is the cheering it on as it fights as well, but it will turn to Gerald.
Okay.
Gerald. Good job. We tentacle things got to stick together. And I'll kind of turn to put a defensive stance in front of it towards the other robots.
Okay. I think that's going to be a rapport roll, and it's so mad that I think that's got to be pretty hard, like 5.
Okay. Let's see. Rapport start with. That's a 4.
That's pretty good.
And I'm going to invoke Unfailingly Cheery.
All right. I love it. Okay. So I think that even in its rage, you are able to behave so differently, and it recognizes your voice, and so I think it recognizes you as a friend, not a foe, in its rage.
You can call me Buckethead.
All right. What about you, Rick?
I'm going to call out. But get your slimy butt out of there. We can't hang out here. These robots will overwhelm us. Come on. And he's going to back up towards the entrance, still, keeping an eye out for robots that he can shoot, and motioning. He's shooting with one hand and making emphatic, desperate motions with the other.
Okay.
So
go ahead and roll a shoot to shoot in.
I got a 0. I'm not gonna boost that.
Okay. Let me just go ahead and roll their defense. So I think that
wow.
Yeah. So you don't destroy any of them, but you knock one back a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I think your boost maybe will represent a slight penalty to the next time they try to attack you.
Okay.
So essentially what that will be is the nearest one to you is off balance, and so when you are rolling to defend, you can invoke that it's off balance for an extra 2 for your defense.
Right.
That's how that works mechanically.
Yes.
What about you? You are still a ways from the entrance, but you have your laser drill now.
Okay, I'm going to start making my way over to Rick.
Okay.
so that at least two of us are going to get out of this alive.
Yeah.
And say, butt up, if you want to invite your friend over, remember we've got that atrium. He might hang out there a whole lot better than down here.
Ooh.
And your accent is very catching.
So how about a shoot roll? Are you trying to shoot some of these robots on your way, Shem?
Yeah, I'll take a pot shot at it just to see what this laser drill can do.
Okay. Roll shoot against their defense.
3.
Nice.
Okay. So that is a tie. So what that means again is that you don't destroy one, but you create a boost.
Yeah. Maybe they're
you
taking
can-
cover or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they're
Yeah.
not approaching as quickly, and so when they attack you again, you get an extra +2 to your defense.
Okay,
If you want to use it.
I've thought of an aspect for this laser drill,
Okay.
and that it's AI enhanced.
Well,
So the laser drill and like a mechanical eye opens up on the laser drill and says, "Hey, what? Wait! Those are my guys! Those are my guys! Don't shoot them!"
okay. So, how about this? If you want it to be at all helpful to you, that will cost you a fate point, but it won't if that's something that's going to be problematic.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. Because you're essentially
so-
declaring, which usually costs a fate point, but if you're declaring something complicating, then yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's basically if I want to shoot the thing again, I'm going to have to spend a fate point to override the AI.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, the you're confusing the weapons automated targeting system. All right. So let's see. Did you get turned this round, butt up, or this was when you just rapport with Gerald, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So we got more of the robots going to try to see if they can manage to do anything to Gerald. Okay. And then Gerald is rolling a +6 fight.
Go, Gerald.
Yeah. Gerald would have to roll pretty bad to take any stress at all.
Jeez.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, it's the robots would have to roll well at the same time that Gerald rolls poorly to take damage. But essentially what we're seeing is these robots are shooting their laser drills at the various vines, but it's just not doing any meaningful damage. Even if it shoots a little bit of a vine here and there, it's just not, not registering. But in the meantime, Gerald is just crashing, but not is avoiding doing any damage to you, but recognizes you as friend. Okay, so I think though that as previously mentioned, this is a swarm of warbots. They're just still coming. Gerald is smashing them, the ones that come near, but otherwise is not making a dent necessarily in the larger swarm.
I got a thought.
Okay.
Is there a communication system in this robot?
Is there?
I can declare one, I suppose, if that's
Yeah.
what I need to do. Okay. Well, I only have a one fate point, so it's going to be blind, but I'll do it anyway. So I will declare there's a communication system, a administrative systems communication,
Okay.
or robot communication.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to send them into a self-diagnostic mode.
Okay. I think
If I can split
that's
that.
so with the communication system that allows you to make the attempt. I think it's probably a systems roll. Well, let's call it a systems roll of +3.
Okay. And since I didn't listen to them there, can I self-compel the unfailingly cheery to not get out of the danger?
Okay. I mean,
So I have a fate point.
yeah.
a little mechanical,
Okay.
I think.
Okay. So you're essentially you're self failing an attempt to do something in order to get a fate point, which works. Yes, you can do that. So you can you spent a fate point to declare something that you're now going to self-fail to get a fate point.
Well, yeah, okay, never mind. I want to be able to try this. I was more thinking that they kept yelling at me to get out, and I'm not.
Okay.
I'm staying in harm's way.
Oh,
but
okay.
That'll be another round.
Okay, well, let's see.
You're also not in a terrible amount of danger because nobody sees you as an enemy.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm also out of fate points, so. I'll give it.
Okay. So you are trying to roll the.
Yep. I'm
okay.
gonna try it. So, but it's a little bit hard. Oh, I got it exact.
Yeah. So that is a success at a minor cost. So
minor cost is this robot shuts down too.
Yes, that's what I was actually going to say. Is that so? You have now actually made all of the robots go into a self-diagnostic mode, so they actually do stop fighting and attacking, but you can't move your own now anymore either.
Rick.
Yeah. So I think Rick, what you and Shem see is that for reasons beyond your knowledge, the robots do actually all just kind of stop and then kind of. They clearly still have power, but they're not doing anything.
So we're like, backing up into the corridor, and the robots are coming closer and closer, and then they just stop in place, put their guns down, and just kind of stand there.
Yep. Still
inert.
Creepy. Yeah.
And it's like
Gerald is still smashing through them, even in their stationary positions at the other end of the room.
But did you do that?
Was it good?
It was the right thing to do, but we still got to get out of here. That monster's gonna smash everything.
He's fine.
He is stomping his way out of the flooded area and starting to crush bits of the assembly line now.
Less to have to count. All right.
One passenger. That's all we have.
Yep.
Butt up. Are you stuck?
Yes.
All right, Shem. We got to go grab Butt up. So we're gonna go up and grab the robot he's in, pick it up, and carry it back to the tiger shark.
All right. So I think right now Gerald is still stomping and smashing around, and so I think no Rick and Butt Up had kind of made friends, but this is still sort of complicated. Like it's not trying to smash you, but it is smashing everything else around you.
So we're kind of like ducking a tentacle here.
Yeah,
jumping
debris flying here. Yeah,
debris flying around, and we're,
yeah.
So kind of under fire.
Yeah,
running up to try to grab him and drag him out of there before the whole place comes crashing down.
So let's try needing a +4 athletics from each of you.
Can I create an advantage?
Sure. Well, you can try.
So the advantage I want to create is, he seems like a friend for now, and it's a convincing Gerald to let my friends come through, or at least more easily.
Yeah. So you're.
If I create it successfully, they can spend a plot point or a fate point to activate it.
Sure. So
normally when you create an advantage, there's one free compel. There's one free
if I'm successful. If I'm not successful, it can be created with no advantages, or it can be created as a boost.
Okay.
So it's
if it's a failure, then the invocation, like the aspect, is created, but you don't. It gets to get used against you.
Right. Okay. Yeah. There's like succeeding cost, which would be the highest.
Yeah. So I think though that because it already kind of sees you as friendly, I'm going to say this is not too hard. Let's say a rapport of 3 is your target.
Okay.
Ooh. All right, you succeeded, and so I think you are able to calm the rampaging Gerald, and it kind of stops thrashing around, looks around, sees that the robots aren't moving, and then it kind of just it sits down like a great big swamp monster dog.
One of the little One of the little rolls by the bucket kind of unrolls a little bit and forms a thumbs up.
That's great and all, but I don't think it's. I'm still not inclined to hang around and risk any further.
Yeah. Well, and for that matter, but you know that the self-diagnostic is not permanent. That's
right.
Yeah, they'll finish doing that before too long.
Let's get out of here before things come back unstuck again. So
just pick up.
Just grab Bud up and drag him out. You want an athletics check?
No, I think not. When there's nothing else happening, you guys between the two of you can just
all right.
The robot body. What I will say though is, as you start making your way towards the exit, you hear boom, 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 boom. Gerald is following you.
Okay. I'm gonna look over over top of Bud up and back at Gerald and say, I think we can fit you in the ship if you can lose some of the mass.
No, hold on. I'm gonna use a fate point for a declare.
Okay.
That's my last one, but I'm gonna use it. It's like last time I looked at the map, we're not that far from maintenance tube 45. We could carry that thing all the way up to the atrium if we can get Gerald here to climb in. And he can follow the Shadow Shark up the pipe.
I accept that declare.
You hear that, Gerald? We're going to get you a new shiny place to live and maybe even a job, and you'll be my friend forever.
And no warbots.
It extends a big, twisting, writhing mass of vines and thumbs up. All right, so I think it takes a little bit of doing for it to cram its way through that set of doors.
Right.
It also can kind of deform and morph itself around as it.
And then probably after it's been through, like all the walls are bowed out and the deck and the ceiling are, it wrecks the corridor on the way through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Totally. So what about this half smashed robot assembly line and the robots probably not too long from finishing their self-diagnostic?
Yeah, they're not going
I'm gonna close the door. Close the door. Disconnected.
We could probably just turn the power off. Shem, you can do that, right?
Yeah, I think I can.
Yeah.
Well, we can shut it off to the assembly line, but you can't. I mean, those robots are self-powered. I say we just, turn the Tiger Shock around and give it a couple blasts with the Nova cannons, and just let it fly off into space.
I mean, they were just scared because Gerald was there. Gerald's not there anymore, so they'll be fine.
All right.
I don't think fear was what they were feeling. More like unending rusty rage. Can that be an aspect? Unending rusty rage.
I like it. Well, for that matter, you guys could just seal off that corridor after you leave.
Yeah, that's seal it off. Inventory 1 warbot horde. And
with unending rusty rage.
And one crewmate who has since been relocated.
Yeah.
Besides,
so
sometime in the future a rusty robot might be useful.
I am very happy with this way of kind of concluding our adventure today, is that you have a new friend. Gerald, the giant vine swamp monster, has been relocated to the atrium. And you guys have a sealed off wing full of unending rusty rage war machines.
Yeah.
That's a great for the ship to have now.
Worst comes to worst, I'll stick the caveman lizard people on them.
I like the idea, by the way, that nobody else has ever seen any evidence of that. This is totally a Shem thing.
So real.
And I'm not saying that they aren't real. I'm saying nobody else has ever seen any evidence of it.
I've almost got them convinced that I am their creation goddess. That close.
All right. So I think as you do you report as your inventory from Nemo the one sealed off horde of war robots.
Yes, and successfully retrieved one tame giant tentacle monster.
Crew member.
Yeah.
Giant tentacle crew member.
Nice.
And
nice.
And so that that is on the plus side of the the costs benefit analysis part of the report.
Also obtained one mechanical exoskeleton for Buttup once he figures out how to fix it. And a really nice and shiny laser drill that I can sell and pay off at least one credit box worth of money.
I think I think that we can absolutely allow that you guys have those things still. And it hasn't come up yet in our other adventure, but we can sort of take as given now that those things exist now. This is a canon mini adventure. And well done, you guys! Hooray! Yay!
This.
I think that turned out pretty well.
I think it did too, especially for minimal prep.
Absolutely.
Hey, we made a friend.
Awesome.
That always is good.
All right. We didn't incorporate the dance fighting. I thought of maybe having the war robots do dance-powered fighting moves, but
if they were like the practice dummies, that would have been perfect. But
they might.
It just means it's a loose thread that we haven't tied back in yet.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, that would be great for the main adventure, especially with the success of our rap battles. Dance battling next on the way home. Entertained.
Yeah, we still have the home. We still have not gotten to the radiation display yet.
Yep. All right. Well, as a reminder, you guys know this, but anyone watching this later, no session next week because I will be traveling back to the United States next weekend. And so we will figure out what the best time is to continue this adventure, but I absolutely intend that we will. And in the meantime, see some other space.
As advertised, this space for rent.
Yep. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Stop these streams.